What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com bringing over the bacon MLB DFS video. It is for Wednesday. It is June 26th. Welcome back. Hopefully, you used our video yesterday. If you had success, let us know. If you're new to the channel, welcome for the first time. If you find this video at all helpful, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We have giveaways every single video. 2 ways to win every single video. The first way, like the video, be a subscriber, and leave a comment. If the video gets at least 50 likes, you have a chance to win a free week of FTA Plus. FTA Plus Weekly Pass includes a week of MLB, NASCAR, PGA, and MMA, which are our current sports. Once NFL is back in NBA, obviously everything will be combined. If the video gets at least 100 likes, you have a chance to win a free month of FTA Plus. Same thing, just a month access. 150 likes equals a full year of content from us. And 200 or more likes is a $500 lifetime pass. I know a lot of people have been wondering, can they get in on these deals? Yes, you can. Super simple and super easy. If you've been on the fence, a weekly pass is $10. A monthly pass is normally $29.99. But if you use the promo code YouTube right now, you will get $10 off. You'll get a monthly pass for $19.99 for the first month. Or if you've been on the fence and we're looking at the yearly pass, normally $199, use the promo code BIRTHDAY, all one word, all capital letters. Instead of $199, you will get it for $99. I think there are 2 coupon codes left for the yearly pass, so get in. If you can use the coupon code on the website, that means it's still active. If you try to use it and it says inactive, or I can't remember the message, it says it's either inactive or code doesn't exist or something like that, they've all been used up. So that being said, that is on the website. Hopefully, you guys stick around and check some stuff out. It's a longer video, I understand that, but it's chock full of information for you. Also, the second way to win. Somewhere in this video, I will have a keyword. All you got to do is listen for that keyword, type it in there, and that is it. You will have a chance to win. So we're going to run the 2 winners real quick, and then we're going to discuss some things, and then we're going to jump into this weird Wednesday slate. So we're going to run it twice. The first one is because yesterday's video got at least 50 likes on it. So we will see that, and then we'll rerun it with the keyword. Now, even if the keyword's in this one, it is only for the first one. So, Alan Nielsen, congratulations. If you send me an email, dfshelp1@gmail.com with if you don't have a username on the website, give me a username and email you would like on the website, and we will get you set up for that free pass just because you left a comment. So congratulations. Let's see, and let's pick another winner. The keyword yesterday was Nooners, so we are going to see Andrew D. Gauman. Congratulations. I think that's how you pronounce the name. Email me username and password, or username and email you would like, and we will set you up just like we did. So congratulations to both of you. Stick around. You can come back today. You can win today, tomorrow, the next day, the next day. You can keep winning it until you end up getting hopefully a lifetime pass, and then you don't have to worry about it. So congratulations to both of you. Good luck to everybody else for this video. And yeah, so the website is FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. A ton of information for you. Under the MLB tab, we have player projections. We have simulations. So what we're going to do at the end of this video, we're going to give you the top 20 bats after 10,000 simulations. So we'll look at those. We'll look at the matchups there. During the day, about an hour or 2 before the main slate locks, we normally throw out the updated 20,000 simulations, and you can see any of the movements with Fanduel or DraftKings projections with news notes that have come out throughout the day, weather that's come out. We have a ton of information. Vegas odds, batter splits, matchups for BVP, stolen base targets, cheat sheets, prop bets, chalk. We've got it all for you. So if you're questioning whether or not to come here and check it out, go check out the website, a ton of information, and something that I think is going to interest a lot of you because I've heard about it, but I am trying to get a loyalty system going on the website. So what it is trying to get a plugin in there and get it all set up for you guys so when you log into the website, you earn tokens. And after so many tokens, you can exchange those for credit to get FTA Plus. So I'm trying to figure out how to build that out. Maybe there are games that can be played, or clicking on ads, or taking surveys, or checking out different pages on the website. Trying to get that all for you guys. So it would help out the channel, obviously, and I'm trying to get that. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know. I'm trying to figure out how to get that all built up and ready to go. Again, it's just me working on the website, so it is, it's time consuming, but I'm here for you guys. And I want to get it ready to go for football season, because it's going to be awesome once football season gets here. So, other ways to support the channel, clicking on the ads. I know they're super annoying, but it helps out. Donating helps out. You can ask if you want to email me if you want to give tips or send tips over because we helped you out, win a ton of money. We've had that before. Hit us up. Our Discord is down below. You can always DM me in Discord. It's in the description, along with this article right now. So, that being said, this video is a little bit longer. If you want an abbreviated version, it is right here, right now. In this article, we've got about 5 plays at each position that we like. Not all the plays that we like, not the only ones, but it is updated to let you guys see a little bit of an abbreviation if you don't have time for this. But again, watching the video or just listening to the video in the background helps out this channel as well. Trying to get some sponsors, so hopefully that is in the pipeline come NFL season. So what we're going to do is, if you are new to the channel, we break each game down. We're going to look at the games that are on these slates that we can play. We're going to look at the pitching. We're going to look at the bats in those as well. I don't do a huge deep dive into those bats in this video because the video will be so long. But if you want to see how they do against right-handed pitchers, how they do against left-handed pitchers, you want to see all the advanced metrics that make them good picks against said pitcher, go check out MLB tab under the batter splits. It's updated every morning. It is every batter that has a minimum of 40 plate appearances against either a left-handed pitcher or a right-handed pitcher. So definitely check that out. Take a look if you want. We will bring it to you. So that is all on the website. Let's get going. So like I said, there's 15 games today. For whatever reason, as of at least the making of this video, there is not an afternoon slate. Let me see if there is an after. Give me 1 second. Let me pause the video. I'm going to check real quick one more time. Okay, just kidding. I missed it completely. We're going to check it out. This is the only problem with Wednesdays. There's so many different start times on a Wednesday that you've got an early start, you've got an afternoon, you've got the main, and everything is there. So we're still going to dig in. We're still going to look at all. We're still waiting on some of these pitchers, which is wild to see. Mariners at Tampa Bay is one that is not on this early slate. For whatever reason, it is an hour earlier than normal. I really don't understand why it's this early. So we're not going to cover this one. We are going to jump into the Pittsburgh at Cincy to start this early slate. We've got rain concerns here in Cincinnati. We got rain concerns, same cell in Detroit is what we're going to look at. So according to MLB, it looks like they don't know. Luis Ortiz does come in. It's probably Carmen Ladzinski being the opener, and then Luis Ortiz coming in. It's just the way it goes. And you guys know that I absolutely hate the opener situation for baseball. There's nothing that infuriates me more. They're going to go one inning. They're really not going to do. Most likely they're not going to do anything. And then Luis Ortiz comes in, whether or not he inherits something, I don't know, inherits runs or not. But he did just give up 6 earned runs in that game. And it's in Cincinnati. You got Andrew Abbott going up against them. 23 plate appearance, 261 in his career. But we look at Andrew Abbott. And they think it's going to be Graham Ashcraft. Huh. I don't know why. It doesn't look like he's going to be the starter here. It looks like it's going to be Andrew Abbott. But again, this is where it might mess up. We might mess up and see that it will change a little bit. So I'm on the assumption that it's going to be Andrew Abbott. Now, he comes in, if he is pitching. He did last pitch on Friday, so it would make sense this is his start. Had a really good game in that start. 5.2 innings, 2 earned runs, had 10 strikeouts in that game. Boston does strike out a ton. Pittsburgh, I do love him in this matchup. I am concerned about the rain, though. In this matchup, I am probably fading. And again, this is where if you're new to the channel, you'll know that I won't always be right. And there are sometimes I'm going to be wrong. If it is Andrew Abbott, I am looking at Andrew Abbott here. If it's Ashcraft, I don't mind him either. Both tournament options. The weather is a concern because if they get the game started, then the rain comes, then the starters sit, they're not going to go back out. I am on the assumption that, let's just say, if it doesn't rain and the game gets played, I'm on the Reds pitcher, whoever it is. I am not on the pitch. I'm not on Luis Ortiz. I'm not on Lodzinski. I'm not looking at this opener. I'm not looking at Pirates bats right now. I am focused on Cincy bats, though. I do love the Cincy bats here. I would be looking at Ellie De La Cruz. Obviously makes sense. Part of my stack. Tyler Stevenson's another one. Will Benson would probably be my main three. Now, on DraftKings, it's the majority of stacks on DraftKings is a main stack of 5, followed by a stack of 2, followed by a 1 singular batter from somewhere else. If I were to go with 5 batters for Cincy, I'm adding Spencer Steer to that lineup immediately. Then it depends if he's in there, but Candelario or Jonathan India, I do not mind those guys. It will depend. I feel like one of those probably could sit as long as they are healthy and not hurt. So looking at that, I love a red stack here in Great American Small Park. If you want to see what I'm talking about with Great American Small Park, go to the MLB tab, go down to the ballpark ratings, and you can look at the ballparks. You can look at all the ballparks. You can see the slugging percentage in each one. You can see the amount of home runs, the rankings of the home runs for the year so far. All the data that we have is based on 2024. So it's all up to date every single morning. It is updated for you guys on the website. Absolutely free. So I am looking at the Reds as a stack in Andrew Abbott if he is in fact the starting pitcher. If it's Graham Ashcraft, then, I mean, he is getting called up. There's a reason he was sent down, but I wouldn't mind him either. But he does have a 5.05 ERA. He has not pitched since June 5th. He did get sent down on June 5th. Did not have a very good start there. Actually, if it's Graham Ashcraft, I'm probably off of him. You see 4 earned runs, 3-5, 3-3-3. He gave up earned runs a ton. I'm probably off of Ashcraft. In that case, if it is Ashcraft, I would look at the Pirates bats. O'Neill Cruz, Brian Reynolds, my top 2. McCutchen I would definitely look at. Rowdy Tellez is probably another one I would look at as well. Okay, that's that game. Weather, a little bit scared about that weather. Next one, Phillies at the Tigers, Spencer Turnbull versus to be announced. In yesterday's video, I said, in Monday's, was it Monday's video? In Monday's video, I said I'm stacking Philly against Casey Mize, and it absolutely went off. Like, Casey Mize is not good. But we look at this. Spencer Turnbull comes in here, joining the rotation. It's kind of what we look at. Taijuan Walker came in, and again, Taijuan Walker hurt. So Spencer Turnbull coming in, obviously a bullpen guy. I don't know if he's going to be stretched out enough. We can just kind of see that he used to be a starter pitcher. He's now 9,000. All of it, I mean, he's not been stretched out a ton, like, 50 pitches or whatever. If he's still on that, I'm a little bit scared of that. Maybe in tournaments, I would throw Turnbull in there. But I would 100% be on a Philly stack. Every single batter for this Philly team, you guys know, it depends on the Tigers starter. They think it's going to be Montero. Looking at this. Oh, no, so he... So he's getting called up. It's probably somebody else because they said it's going to be the Tuesday, even though it's switched. So I am not looking at this. I am looking at Philly. I'm looking at Schwarber. I'm looking at Harper. Obviously, these two. Boom. Like, I'm going back to a Philly stack here again. Trey Turner obviously makes sense in this lineup. So there are a ton of Phillies to look at. Depending on the lineup that does come out of there, that's what I'm focused on. I'm definitely focused on Philly as a stack. I don't want anything to do with Detroit. Turnbull tournaments, maybe. He just, been in the bullpen, has not been stretched out a ton. Probably looking about a ceiling of 50 pitches, possibly. So I'm on Philly and I'm on Turnbull for tournaments, but maybe just like one lineup. Next one, the Rockies at the Astros. You got Ryan Feltner versus Mr. Spaghetti. So we got Feltner coming in. Game log wise, 6 ERA. I don't want anything to do with him. He hasn't faced Houston this year. On the road, he's actually been better, but it's still a 5 ERA on the road. I would look at an Astro stack. Arrighetti, he actually has, he's got a 6.36 ERA. It's been a couple of bad starts against some bad teams. Had a good game against San Francisco, a really good game against Seattle, but he's been hit very hard as well. I'm looking at bats in this one, and it's really odd to say, but obviously Houston bats make a lot of sense. Jordan, Altuve, Bregman, probably Pena would be the 4 that I'd look at. Colorado bats that I'd look at would be Ryan McMahon, Brennan Rodgers, Montero. You could make a case for either Brenton Doyle or Hunter Goodman. I think Goodman has outfield and catcher eligibility, so you could finesse your way around that lineup there. I just do not trust either of these pitchers. Could they go off? They could. I'm not taking that chance. I am definitely looking at bats in this one. Obviously, love Houston bats a little bit more in this game against Feltner, but Colorado could be a sneaky stack here against Arrighetti. I mean, he's due for a good game, but he's been lit up by teams that he shouldn't be. This just feels like one of those again. So then we move on to the next one. You got the Marlins at the Royals. To be announced for the Marlins versus Brady Singer. Brady Singer started off the season very, very well. Still a respectable 3.29 ERA. Has not faced Miami this year. Is pitching at home where he does have a little bit better ERA. This is a pitcher's park. We know this. We like to take pitchers in this ballpark a little bit. He just hasn't brought it to the table in a while. His ERA is low. Not low, but his ERA is 3.29. 8,700. So we're basically looking for 2.5 times value. What I mean by that is 8,700 times 2.5. He has not hit that in a long time. Texas, he only gave up 1 earned run, 4 strikeouts, only 2 walks with 5 innings. 13.7. It's been, against Oakland, May 19th, over a month since he's had double-digit, 20-plus fantasy points there. And outside of that, then it's been almost almost 2 months since he's had 20, another big game. He has a good matchup here against Miami. I just think I'm more on the bats in this one than I am the pitching. They think it's going to be Trevor Rogers. Last pitched on Friday, so it would make a lot of sense. He comes in 4.90 ERA, 1-8 records, not getting run support. He is cheap, but he is a lefty bat against this team. Did have a good start. We did use him against Seattle because Seattle likes to strike out a ton. Only had 5 strikeouts in that game. 17.3 fantasy points at 5,400 is pretty good. As you can see, he's hitting value here while still giving up earned runs. I just don't think this is a matchup for him versus Kansas City. I'd rather take Kansas City bats. I would rather look at Bobby Witt and Sal Perez. Sal is a little bit cheaper. He's had a little bit of he started off super hot, and he's gone down a little bit slower, but I think he's still good to go. I would use those 2 for sure. Hunter Renfroe would be a cheap Kansas City option who normally hits lefties very well. And then probably Michael Garcia or Vinny Pasquantino would round out my Kansas City bats. If we think Brady Singer's not going to have a good game, I would look at Jazz. I would look at Josh Bell. I would look at Berger, and I would look at Jesus Sanchez for the bats. Very cheap bat you could look at would be Nick Gordon. He did have a home run the other day. Very, very cheap bat if you're trying to get a sneaky Miami stack here. But I'd rather focus on Kansas City. Tournament-wise, maybe you go Trevor Rogers because he is so cheap, and he's done decently lately. But I just think I think Kansas City could hit him very, very hard today. Move on to the Rangers at the Brewers. You got Nate Eovaldi versus Colin Ray. Eovaldi coming in here, 9,400, the cheapest on this slate. 3.14 ERA, has not faced Milwaukee this year. Pitching on the road, he's a little bit worse on the road, but coming off a great game against a good Kansas City offense. He's had 6 strikeouts in back-to-back games, 5 followed by 7 before that. So, did have an off game against Seattle with 4 earned runs, and he didn't leave hurt, but he had 75 pitches coming off the IL. Or he had 75 pitches, so they pulled him in the 3rd inning, which kind of stunk. Innings might be a little bit, I don't know. I hope he's not on any sort of pitch count or anything like that. That's what I'm trying to say. But he's coming off 98 pitches against Kansas City. The problem is he's not been good on the road. And Milwaukee can hit. Evaldi for tournaments I'm okay with. Then you got Colin Ray coming in. Splits-wise, at home, he's got a better ERA at home. I think he could be a sneaky tournament option. 7,500 is kind of expensive for him, though, with a 3.62 ERA. At home, though, he is averaging 17.8 fantasy points, which would hit the 2.5 times value we're looking for. So I do not mind Colin Ray here. I might like him a little bit better than Evaldi just because Evaldi's not been good on the road. In the flip side, Colin Ray's good at home. So there are different things to think about in this game. Batting-wise, if you don't like either of these pitchers and you want to go with different bats, that's where we can look at. Texas bats, Corey Seager. I'm loving Corey Seager. Adolis Garcia, every time I've used him, he's hit a home run for us, so I love that. Wyatt Langford, either home runs, or if he gets on base, he's getting stolen bases for us, so I love that as well. And then I would look at Jonah Heim or Nate Lowe. So these are all, majority of them are lefty bats. Adolis and Langford are both righties, but I do love those. If you want to see how they do against righty pitchers or lefty pitchers, vice versa with pitching, go check that out on the batter splits. Milwaukee bats that I would look at Evaldi, William Contreras, Christian Yelich, Rhys Hoskins had a massive home run the other night, Willy Adames. Those are the four main ones that I would look at for Milwaukee bats if we're going in that route. So that's the early slate. The early slate is done. Couple of weather concerns. The pitchers that I wouldn't use would be Ortiz, Feltner, Arrighetti, and Ashcraft. I mean, there's not this slate doesn't have a lot of great pitching. I'm not going to lie. That's not the best pitching on an early slate. Cheeky little two-game afternoon slate. You've got the Athletics at the Angels, and then Washington at San Diego. I don't think I'm going to make it too hard. I'm not using Daniel. I'm not using Estes. If I were to use it, it'd be Cease and Hers. I don't love Hers, but I would use those guys. Dylan Cease obviously makes a lot of sense against Washington, and then DJ Hers against San Diego because he's a little bit cheaper. The bats that I would look at, the Angels bats, Joe Adell. I mean, we could just look real quick at the Angels bats. San Diego, they do hit lefties well. So if you're not going DJ Hers, obviously I would be looking at Manny Machado, Higashioka, Jurickson Profar, and Jackson Merrill. Washington, if you think Dylan Cease is going to get lit up, would be Lane Thomas, C.J. Abrams, Eddie Rosario, and I probably would look at Jesse Winker. This one's the one I'm guaranteeing I'm not playing this 2-game slate here, and I'm not playing an all-day slate on FanDuel. I'll just let you know that now. Angels bats, Taylor Ward, Ohapi, Joe Adell, Zach Neto, and I would look at. A's, Brent Rooker, Soderstrom, Miguel Andujar, and that's probably it. I don't love this little afternoon slate. I don't at all. I'm not a fan of it at all. Probably not going to be playing it. There's not much to go with. So that's why we have a main slate here of 6 games. And we do have some weather concern. Toronto at Boston and New York Yankees at the Mets. We do have weather concerns here for sure. So we look at this. Toronto at Boston. We've got, and then this game's not even on anything right now. I don't know why. For whatever reason, this is not on there. It's on an all-day slate, but we're not going to discuss it because playing the all-day slate, you're going to get screwed over more times than not just with the locking at 10 a.m. or whatever time it is your time zone and going throughout the entire day. But we do have the Blue Jays at the Red Sox. You got Yariel Rodriguez versus Cutter Crawford. I'm going to let you know right now. Going Crawford and going the Boston Red Sox stack. Devers, Jarren Duran, top 2. For sure. You could look at Wilyer Abreu. I think it would be a sneaky option. And I would look at Tyler O'Neill. Cutter Crawford we know that comes in 8,200, 3.59 ERA. Pretty good starts around here. Toronto, he's not facing this year. Pitching at home, he does have a 4.15 ERA. I know for sure I'm not using Rodriguez. So if you look at what Yariel Rodriguez did his last start, -6. Then he had 0.3. And you can see he's starting the game. He's built up 4 innings, but he got lit up. I see that same thing happening here against, if the weather holds up, I see that going there. Boston bats, Vladdy I would look at. I would look at Addison Barger. I would look at Spencer Horwitz. I would look at Davis Schneider. Those would be the ones that I'd look at. But again, I love Boston as a stack a little bit more than I do love Blue Jays. I would look at Cutter Crawford for tournaments, but that is probably it for me. Then we got weather concern here, but we got the Yankees at the Mets. As long as the weather holds up, this is a pitcher's park. Luis Gil has looked a little off his past 2 starts. This is true. He's got lit up past couple of times, but this is a juicy matchup for him to bounce back in and a massive ballpark for him to pitch in. So I would be looking at Luis Gil here. Probably might only be tournaments for me now versus the Mets. And then I would look at the Yankees bats versus Sean Manaea. I would be looking at J.D. Davis facing his old team. He probably gets the start at first base here. I would not mind seeing that righty bat here against lefty. Obviously Judge, obviously Soto. I would even look at Glaber. I know on Tuesday he batted cleanup. I don't know if he'll do that again, but I would use him as well. I would rather take a Yankee stack versus Luis Gil. If you think Luis Gil is going to get lit up because he's had a couple of bad outings in a row after dominating all year, Mets bats that make sense. Brandon Nimmo makes sense. J.D. Davis makes sense. Francisco Alvarez, Francisco Lindor. Maybe even DJ Stewart. I like these. I like these picks here. I would still, though, I'm going with the Yankees as a stack, and I'm going with Luis Gil as one of my pitchers for the main slate. Then we move to the Braves at the Cardinals. Chris Sale versus Andre Pallante. I am going Chris Sale. That's why he's the picture of the video in the article, and I'm going the Braves bats. Braves bats, Marcell Ozuna, Jared Kelenic, Matt Olson. Those are my main 3. And then, depending on who's in there, you could get a cheap option in a Ramon Laureano, an Ozzie Albies, Sean Murphy. Depending on whoever the catcher is, probably a cheaper option there. And I don't want any of the Cardinals bats. If you think it for your sake, I'm going to go through them, but I'm not going to be on the Cardinals as a stack. But if you think that Chris Sale's going to have a bad game, you want to look at Cardinals bats, I would look at Wilson Contreras against the lefty. I would look at Dylan Carlson against the lefty. Arenado and Goldie against the lefty as well. You could even look at Mason Wynn. But I'm going the Braves and Chris Sale on my side. Then we got the Dodgers at the White Sox next. Gavin Stone versus Eric Fetty-Wap. So we've got Gavin Stone here, 8,800. Game log 259. We used him at Colorado, 5.1 innings, 7 Ks. He has a juicy matchup here against the White Sox. On the road, he's actually been better, 1.85. I love me some Gavin Stone at 8,500. You're going to save some money at 8,800 or 8,800 because you could see like Luis Gil and Amanaga, they are very expensive. So you want to pay down Gavin Stone, I don't mind. Not using Fetty. Would rather use the Dodgers bats in this one. The ones that like even tickle my fancy and make sense. Ohtani, obviously Ohtani. Teoscar Hernandez, if he's in there, I do like him against lefties a little bit better, but if he is in there, I'll go with him. Will Smith, Freddie Freeman also make a little bit of sense as well. Cheap outfield option could be Jason Hayward or Andy Pages if they are playing. It depends on the lineup that they decide to throw out there. And I am not looking at the White Sox at all. I am just looking at, I'm looking at the Dodgers as a stack. I'm looking at Gavin Stone for sure. Cheaper option if you don't want to pay up for the other bats or the other pitchers there. And the keyword of the day is groceries because they are so expensive right now. Groceries. You know what? Groceries. Okay, so moving on. We've got Minnesota at the Diamondbacks. You got Simeon Woods Richardson versus Ryan Nelson. We've used Simeon Woods Richardson a handful of times this year. 3.26 ERA. Coming off a pretty good game against Tampa Bay. Not a good game against Oakland. 4, 4, 4, 4, 1, 4, 4, 4, 4. So many fours. 4.2 fantasy points. Wild times. They have dropped his price down to 6,900 because Arizona is pretty good. He has not faced them this year, and on the road, he's got a 3.12 ERA. I'm probably off of SWR, and I'm looking at Arizona bats. I'm probably off of both of these pitchers. I am off both of these pitchers. I would focus on the offense on both sides. Minnesota, Royce Lewis. 100%. Carlos Correa, Buxton, Jose Miranda, and Carlos Santana would be the bats that I would start targeting around for Minnesota. Arizona bats I would target against SWR. Ketel Marte, Jock Peterson, Corbin Carroll, Christian Walker, and maybe Lourdes Gurriel Jr. I don't know about him. So yeah, I am not looking at the offense or the pitching in this one, just the offenses. I do like Minnesota a little bit more, but I will have some exposure to Arizona as well. And then according to this website, they don't know who's pitching. It looks like it's going to be Amanaga versus to be announced. The Giants are to be announced damn near up until game time every single day. I'll be very surprised if they ever show who's going to be pitcher before the day. They think it's going to be Mason Black, but he was optioned down. They think maybe he gets called up. That's something to look at. We can't really discuss that. And then if it is Amanaga, he's actually gotten lit up lately. Last pitch on Friday, so it makes sense he pitches here. He got lit up against the Mets, minus 14.5. The game before that against St. Louis, he did pretty good. But again, the Mets, he got lit up for 10 earned runs. He also got lit up for 7 earned runs against Milwaukee, who Milwaukee hits lefties well. This is a pitcher's ballpark. I would love Amanaga here because I think his ownership would be down because everyone's going to see he's got 10 earned runs if the wind is blowing out in this ballpark. If it's blowing out, then I absolutely love it even more because it is a spacious ballpark for pitchers. So I would look at that, and then depending on who the pitcher is for the Giants, I would focus on the Cubs bats, but again, as a stack. But again, we got to wait to see who comes out. So we'll have that with the simulations and the projections and everything like that. So if it does come up and you need to look for it, check out the website, FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. And that's the breakdown. And that is every game that we talked about. Those are the pitchers. Those are the bats. So let's take a little peep on the top 20 bats after 10,000 simulations. Number 1, Jarren Duran. Number 2, David Hamilton. 3, Stephen Kwan. 4, Jose Ramirez. 5, Adolis Garcia. 6 is Gunnar Henderson. 7 is Josh Naylor, who did sit on Tuesday, so definitely pay attention there. 8, Royce Lewis. 9, Juan Soto. 10, Adley Rutschman. 11, Tyler O'Neill. 12, Corey Seager. 13, Aaron Judge. 14, Ryan O'Hearn. 15, Andres Jimenez. 16, Ketel Marte. 17, Devers. 18, Wilyer Abreu. 19, Anthony Santander. And number 20 is Trevor Larnach versus Ryan Nelson. Now, all of the bats have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating as of right now with all of the ballpark factors, weather, and stuff like that. Could and will most likely change later. Stephen Kwan, number 1. Number 2, Adolis Garcia. 3, Royce Lewis. 4, Juan Soto. 5, Corey Seager. 6, Yordan Alvarez. 7, Carlos Santana. 8, Marcell Ozuna. 9, Nolan Jones. And number 10, Matt Olson versus Andre Payante. That's what I've got. If you've got questions, comments, concerns, get those down below. If you don't want to do that here, you can always hit us up on our Discord. The link is in the description along with everything else. Again, I just want to take a moment to just thank everybody, all of your support over this MLB season. We're inching closer to 10,000 YouTube subscribers. I cannot wait to hit that mark. If we hit that mark by the 4th of July, which is a week away, a little over a week away, we will give away a lifetime pass, a $500 lifetime pass. So that being said, good luck on this slate. Good luck with sports betting, whatever you're doing. Have a great day. Good luck. And as always, let's bring home some bacon. Peace.